This thing don't half shift, and it really is minimal effort. Eros, what have you done? What have you done, Eros? How? How? Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. New subscribers, old subscribers, hi everyone, and it's always nice to see your comments in the comments section. So if you're new to the channel, give it a think about subscribing. I said the channel's been developing over a number of years and it's always great to build a new community around this channel. Anyway, those that are new will not have seen this aircraft before, but those that are old will know all about the 9. Don't worry, it's not going to be all about the 9. I still have my PB. There's been a lot of questions in the comments about am I keeping the PB. Yes, PB is moved back down to the southwest, so when I'm away from here I can do more flying in the southwest. Anyway, now here's my 9. Now I have to admit I have already flown it. I've flown it a couple of times. It's more to do with the braking in the engine, getting some of the settings dialed in with the wing, and I wanted to make sure it was okay before I started bolting any cameras to it. Now some may go, that's why have you done that? But I wanted to just make sure the aircraft was safe. No cameras, no pressure, no stress of flying a brand new aeroplane, especially when it's your own. Everything's a little bit real at that point. So today the cameras are on and we're going to go up and see how this aircraft performs. But while the sun is shining, we haven't had many flyable days. There are just so many little things, and the thing I really do like is these lovely winglets and just how shiny. I'm trying to keep them as shiny as possible. There are some bags that go over them to keep them secure. So there was a comment recently, I can't remember if it was on Facebook or on the comment section of the video. This is a Polini 303, and people have asked me why I haven't used the Cosmos, being a Vittorazi fan for the Moster 185. There was a number of reasons, and I don't want to go into too much detail other than the fact of between the two engines, the 303 would produce more horsepower, and the fuel burn was a little bit less. So in terms of the two, and between the two, I was happier to go with this engine. And the other thing that also sold it for me, as I like to, not tinker's the wrong word, but I like to get things to be just so, it's got a float bowl carb, and there's the float bowl carb right there. And that means I can adjust it all the way through the moon. And now on the first 2 flights, wow, this thing is so smooth. It is lovely. You just move the throttle and it sits and stays exactly where you put it. The other main thing is, look at the size of this propeller. Yes, I am short, but this is a 1.5 meter propeller, and the noise that this thing makes is just amazing. So hopefully I'll try and get some of that noise on the video footage. The other thing to look at when the differences between, what are the differences between the Adam and this? There are a number of differences, and I tell you what, we'll talk about that in flight. Right then, so let's get the aircraft ready to go. I've done all the main wing rigging. I haven't done the lifting side of it. Oh, get you out of the sunshot. I haven't done the lifting side of it, but it's just a standard normal lift up and click. But this wing, and I don't know whether many have got it, but look at that. You'll even know what the aircraft is on top. So I'm going to complete my checks and I'll join you in the aircraft. Right, cockpit checks. I'm going to talk a bit more about the wing in flight, so join me for that. But the main thing is, this is my first dual start and first radiated engine. So the warm-up checks are a little bit different. The starting checks are a bit different in that this has got a choke, but it's a manual choke at the engine. So the first start of the day, you've got to get in, start it, and then take the choke off, and then it'll start after that. And today I thought I'd actually try the pull start. So let's see if it actually does start. And we're going to go for that. So, ignition on, not touching the starter. Security, I am secure. Awareness, master is on, which feels weird doing that now, having actually have an ignition switch which is on. Awareness, we're going to go for a clear prop, and start the engine. And throttle is closed, yeah. Ooh! Just raise the idle. So yeah, it starts on the pull start.
Micro avionics. Cool,
connected. Good thing without the micro avionics headset, oh, hello, is that if you don't use the Bluetooth within about 20 seconds, it turns the Bluetooth off to save power. So that's really good. 50 degrees. what I believe to be limits, all clear, and I'll be doing the power at the other end when I'm clear. Starting more traffic. Golf Charlie Mike Romeo Foxtrot is backtracking runway 01, correction 19 hard. Starting well. You think after all this time I'd know where I am and what the registration is. Oh, water. We had an absolute bucket load of water come down last night. First video vlog on the aircraft. I can see now why, for years, on aircraft dashboards, they have the registration. You think, wouldn't people know what the registration is of their aircraft? But jumping in and out, if it wasn't written up there, I wouldn't be quite sure what the registration was. It's like, what am I flying today? Oh, lots of standing water. Ugh. That means my aircraft's going to get covered. Yeah, the main thing about this aircraft is getting used to a different engine, because again, 7 years, most of the paramotoring is either a top 80 or a Bailey 4-stroke, or for about 7 years, Mosters, and so I know them inside out, but the Polini brand, I've not really had that much to do with them. Ooh, yuck. So this is again learning, yep, I'm at the right temperature. Learning a new engine, and this one has a radiator, and if you spot something on the radiator that you think should or shouldn't be there, let me know in the comments. Anyway, I know I'm clear for a little bit, so we're just going to go off and I'm going to have a play with my aircraft, and so we're going to talk about the wing. There is no way I'm going to hold this engine to do a power check. I don't think the brake's going to hold it either. No, brake just slides. Wind, yep, down the runway. Instruments have all been checked and set. No, I don't want to finish the flight now. Nope, want to keep going. Fuel is as was before, with liners a little bit trim. So in the event of not achieving what I believe to be full power, because the tacho isn't reading accurately, I'm going to abort ahead, and there are fields to the right, so I'm happy with that. So let's go flying the 9. No, let's go flying my 9. Starting more traffic. Golf Charlie Mike Romeo Foxtrot is ready for immediate departure on runway 01 hard. Darling more. Full power. And we're away. Climbing like a bat out of hell. Just reducing the power slightly. It's quite strong winds today, so I don't think I'm going to be seeing much in the way of ground speeds that are high into wind. But what a glorious, gorgeous day. So much moisture in the ground, every moment that there's some warm air. There is clouds popping off. So yeah, those that have seen Paul's video, Paul Batterton, link up here, will notice that the bar pitch is very light, and we're talking about fingers. But in roll, it does need a little bit more oomph to initiate a turn, and then it sort of stabilises and it's quite light. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get above this cloud. One thing I love about winter is you can get above the cloud a little bit easier. Dew point's always a bit lower, and then it should feel a bit smoother as well. Not that it's not smooth today anyway. So one thing I've already asked is, what's the difference between this and the Adam? Well, in the UK, the Adam can be flown without a licence, as in sub 70, or SSDR, and the reason for that is due to the requirements of what the aircraft is meant to perform like, and the main one is a stall speed of less than 23 miles an hour or 20 knots. There's no way on earth this is going to achieve that. It's not designed to be a sub-70 wing, so for those that were hoping to upgrade from a Fox or an Adam for the next sub-70 wing, this is not it. However, in the SSDR world, single seat deregulated in the UK, it is the thing. Now there are other comments that I've been receiving going, why don't you just buy a cheap Quick or a cheap Quantum, or this, that and the other? And I have generally, from an aviation engineering and logistics background, the one thing that has always scuppered aircraft is spares. If you can get hold of spares quickly, it doesn't matter generally how bad an aircraft performs, or a car performs, or anything. If you can get those spares quickly, you don't mind doing a bit of, I'll just swap that out. That's not a problem. However, if you're grounded for 6 months because of a little dink or something that's happened with your aircraft, or something's naturally failed or needs replacing, that's the thing for me as to why I went for this and spent a nice sum of money, not going to lie, a nice sum of money on a new aeroplane where I can get bits and I can speak to the manufacturer. So that is the reason why. Okay, I have seen some very nice Quantums kicking about, but I just don't want to be tied into that type of machine. And very rarely on my own have I found a need or want to fly with a passenger. I do generally like flying on my own with other people, but I do like flying on my own. Don't get me wrong, I do like the sort of dual seat teaching aspect, but equally so, there are times where you go, I just want to go flying on my own. There is no second seat to fill. It's really easy to start, pull out, rig it, go fly, come back in. I've had a blast for half an hour, 40 minutes, an hour. I've gone somewhere, I've come back. And if not, Bluetooth music to my headphones. That's definitely smooth air. So, let's have a look at this aeroplane. Let's go back onto the foot throttle. That's good. Now the first thing you might have noticed is that the engine just stays where I put it. That, the thing for me, is why I've liked this carburettor. It can be tuned across all the range, and for me, leaving my foot wherever I leave the hand throttle, I'll leave it there, I'll move it back, everywhere I leave it, it's not chasing the RPM. As much as I've tried to work the magic with the Walbro carb on my Moster, there is still times where you go, I just want the thing to stay put, and this engine will do that. My ground speed at the minute is 42 miles an hour. I'm actually pushing forward, so let's relax off. 43, 44, 43, 44. Now I know the 2,000 foot spot wind today is 25 miles an hour. So if I'm doing 40 odd mile an hour crosswind, I'm quite pleased with that on something that's going to burn about the same as what my Moster does. In terms of going places, I've got performance now. Now, let's see what happens with a bit more speed. And I'm just gently going to pull on the bar. $47, 48. That's my ground speed, by the way. I'm not really, I'm just resting my hands on the bar. But oh boy, does it go quick. There's 50, 51, 52. Okay, let's add a little bit more power. And we're back to level flight. So my ground speed, crosswind, is around 50 miles an hour with only just a touch extra RPM. So that's good to know. So I'm darting around a bit here because I'm just putting my thoughts together. So the wing, let's go back to the wing. The main thing with the wing is that, oh, that's right, I'm right on the bottom of that cloud. So let's get away from the cloud, shall we? It's got a few more buttons, and it is significantly smaller. Those of old will have known about the Chaser, and I believe the Chaser is about
is it 10 point something square metres, 10.7 square metres? The PB's 13 square metres. Now the reason, you probably worked out already, the reason this is called the 9 is because the wing is 9 square metres. Now if you go back to my real first video of where I chat to Paul Dewhurst and Ben, Paul wanted a 7, which I think would be absolutely mental. And I don't know of many paramotor engines, again this all comes from the paramotor paratrike brethren, that would be up for that sort of power. I think you're definitely going to be back into the sort of 2-stroke Rotax area, Zenith, Hearth engines, etc. So you're going to need a lot more power for that to achieve that sort of speed. Nice little change of RPM and it's not moving. So yeah, the wing is 9 square metres. It's strutted for the main bit. It's topless. The beauty and the difference between a strutted wing and a king-posted wing is there's less drag on a strutted wing. There's no wires on top. There's only these A-frame wires here, which are allowing me to control the aircraft with the control bar. So yeah, that's the main difference. There is a lot more battens, so there's 3 undersurface, lower surface battens, and an additional 7th. That was quite funny. Ben said this to me when I rigged it the first time. He said, you'll think that there's a batten missing, but it's that short, it's that short that it disappears up inside the batten bag. And you kind of reach around and find it, which I had to do this morning. Significant differences, again, a wing is not just a wing, and they're all tested and designed to do different things. Now, this wing has got what they call venting. Now that is a big topic for discussion, and I'm not going to talk about it here because it's at the edge of my knowledge of how it fully works. But on this wing I can vary the venting, and the venting does actually have some benefits to how you fly. But at the minute I've got it all closed. I've got the vents all closed, and I might go around and check that and see if it will affect in later flights. I'm going to get away from Alton Towers and then we're going to go and see how my aircraft stalls. You'll have seen it in a previous video. If you haven't seen that video where I'm pushing Ben's machine a little bit further, same engine configuration, slightly different wing, and there are subtleties that are different from the testing development wing that Ben had. It is weird just setting this engine and leaving it alone. I appreciate I've talked in previous videos about the carburetor mod, but it really only works in a very small RPM range. If you can get it to sit there, it's perfect. If it goes outside, it's jumping, it's going. I don't think this wing stalls in the correct sense of stalling, as in breaking away airflow, because the Quantum doesn't really stall. It does this thing, this mushing thing, and I think that's what happens with this aircraft. It's not actually stalling in the sense of the airflow breaking away from the rear trailing edge and moving forward, allowing the bar to come back, or resulting in the bar coming back. But it definitely starts losing lift, and then the nose starts lowering, and I think that's a really nice way. But to get it to the front strut and be doing that and realising that you're in a bad configuration would be the first part of realising you're making a mistake. Right then, wings level. And we're going to do this in the glide, so bar back, close the throttle. Okay. There it is. Absolutely non-event. Absolute non-event. Hell's Good Heights engine. Location lookout is still current. Right then, let's try that again. Absolute non-event. Right then, so you will see lots more about this 9 video, and again, if you've got any questions about it, I will put a little picture on the screen right now of all the specifications from Eros that have worked, or Ben and Eros have worked closely together to make this wing and trike combination. So if you've got any questions that are further than that, then either drop me a comment in the comment section below, or importantly, you could contact Ben at Flylight, because he'll be able to give you a bit more information than I will, because he's the designer of it. I'm just the guy that owns production aircraft #1 of the 9, and that is quite a nice thing to be able to say. Saved up for a long time for this, don't worry. But yeah, I own production aircraft #1 of the Flylight 9. But Eros, you make a cracking wing. You really do. Right. Darling, more traffic. Golf Charlie Mike, Romeo Foxtrot, inbound from the northwest, 4 miles to run for overhead join for runway 19 right hand. Darling, more. For those in my last video where I was referring to a Jeremy Clarkson power moment, here's a bit on the screen as to why it's funny from a UK perspective, because he's a little bit of a character, and had I gone power, you'd get exactly what I mean. So here's why.
And there's the finish line. Power!
This thing don't half shift, and it really is minimal effort. I literally 2 fingers either side over the bar. Really does want to, at least it recovers from the far side of it. That's 59. I'm into wind at the moment. That's 50, 51, and the bar relaxes back, and we just zoom back up. Mental, absolutely mental how it does it with minimal effort. So one thing I do like about this machine, you can make it go down. Whee! Oh yeah, but I did get caught out, and I will admit to this on camera. I am so used to flying the Adam. You kind of switch to big aircraft mode when you fly the bigger 2 seats. But I lined up on final the other day. I went to line up on final and forgot to turn soon enough and overshot it, because this thing doesn't turn as quickly as the Adam does. And I thought, oh, I'm flying Adam, that'll turn, that'll go nicely. And overshot, and I had to get myself back online. So yeah, so in that respect it was a bit of a mental embarrassment there. Turn early, Giles, or earlier. Darling, more traffic. Golf Charlie Mike, Romeo Foxtrot, final runway 19 hard. Darling, more. There we go, Giles, that's how you do it. I don't know the glide path of this yet, so this is kind of why I'm doing all these little flights, because I don't quite know where my visual reference points are. So let's try that. It's going to be a bit of a wind gradient today. I'm going to come in short. Okay. There's Will Straight, foot's off the brake. Oh, still have that roll control. Still have it. All the way to the ground. Eros, what have you done? What have you done, Eros? How? How? Anyway. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm really sorry in some kind of way that I couldn't take you, or didn't want to take you on the first flights, just because I didn't want any of that pressure. But that was nice just to take you with me on that flight. It's not ideal conditions today. It's probably blowing about, well, at least 10-12 mile an hour down the runway. I didn't even notice any of it today. But, and I think that's the main difference between this machine and the and my Adam, is that I can fly them in 2 different weather windows. Cool. Well, before off. Well, before this battery dies and all the other batteries dies, I really hope you enjoyed that video. Say a little bit just more of a flavour of what this 9's about. Don't worry, the PB's still in the picture, it's just in a different part of the country, and you will see more adventures from that. As I said, if you are new to the channel and want to join me on my adventures, give us a click, give us a like and a comment. It's all about community. That's all I've created the channel for: information, education and a community, and it's apparently all around the world. So thanks to the new subscribers, thanks to the old subscribers, and until next time everybody, fly safe.